Hi everybody! This day is a grey day and it's time for some DIY, some craft project. I have the whole house to myself. Today and the next days I can wreak chaos all over the place if I want to. And this means for me I want to do some creative project. I, for a long time, wanted to sew another corset. Normally I would wear this under my clothes. I just wanted to wear it outside to kind of set the mood for this video today, which is like an overbust corset, as you can see. And I want to sew like an underbust corset, only up till here. Yeah. When traveling to the north of Sweden, I have collected some leather stuff from a leather worker that they didn't need anymore. And that means I get to do a leather corset from leather from the north of Sweden, which feels fantastic. And I thought I could take you along for the journey. Just to give you a closer look of what I'm talking about, this is the corset I made last year, and as I said, it's more of an undergarment, but yeah, I want something similar. I hope to do that over the next couple of days. This project has been living in my mind for forever now. I have actually already bought a pattern, and it's one inspired from the 1860s Victorian style, mid to late Victorian era. I thought I could adapt this to my needs. It's not an underbust corset, but it was kind of expensive. I'm gonna adjust the pattern so it just ends like underbust. Maybe just a disclaimer now before I get into the more of the making part of the project. I am not an expert at all. I have been sewing this corset that I'm wearing now, this one here. I didn't know what I was doing. It was my first project in any way of this kind of scope. I am in no means an expert and take everything I say with a big grain of salt. With that being said, let's get into the corset making stuff. I'm always struggling when choosing sizes for a corset because I don't want a tight lined corset or anything, but I am very squishy, you would say. This part here of my body, it goes in quite a lot. It is normally more here, and with a corset it goes in like this, and it is not tight laced at all. I assure you I can breathe just fine, just normally. It is just how my body very easily adapts to being taken in at the waist here. I always have to kind of really adjust the pattern to that squishiness around my waist. I took a measuring band around my waist, then I corseted myself in, and then I took the measurements of the corseted waist. I told you how I did my waist measurement. Now I need to take my underbust and my hip measurement. I'm wearing tight clothing for that, making sure it's all parallel to the ground. I've taken a deep breath so it's really fully extended. I measuring in centimeters. The pattern is an US pattern. I think it's in inches, so I have to convert it and see which size fits me, and I'll take the bigger size for hip and underbust and the smaller size for waist measurement. With this in mind, I will adjust the pattern and see how that goes. squishy. As you can see, like my waist is here, and just with my hands I can like push in a lot. I always have been able to do that. So I want to alternate between sizes, and that's not as easy as it sounds, because I don't know if I like get in here with the size smaller. I don't want to squish my ribs, so I want to have my ribs not squished. And I've thought about that, and I might either have a very brilliant or a very stupid idea. Let's see how that goes. I have something, guys. For example, I have my like lowest point to highest point measurements. I have the height of from the waist to the underbust area. This is not bad. Pretty happy. Great. Now I'll eat. I have now printed out the pattern, and now I have to tape it together and also cut it out, and that means down on the floor. Yeah, I now have two sets. I have the two sizes because they came on different like pattern pages. Now I have to figure out a way to combine the three things: bigger pattern, smaller pattern, and whatever I cut out earlier. There was much more guessing, guesswork, guesstimating involved than I would have liked, but I have my pattern pieces. This is only like one side. I have to like cut and sew double of it, like everything I have to do twice, and then I get the whole like garment. This is the one back piece. This is the hip gusset, I think it's called, goes here. This of course is the front piece. It was kind of a mess to put those two pattern sizes together. I didn't really pay attention to that when buying and choosing the pattern. It wasn't really made for like combining two sizes, unfortunately. I have something, and I'm feeling brave, or again maybe stupid. The mock-up, like the test garment, I feel like cutting it out of my what's the word? Fabric. Yeah, out of my good fabric already. I want to say that I'm doing that out of the good fabric, because a mock-up is always better when you take like fabric that acts the same like your destined fabric. But to be honest, I'm just kind of hoping that I can use my mock-up as my lining corset layer, and that I can like actually get around of not doing a whole mock-up in a way. It's kind of a risky decision, of course, because I could have to like scrap it. I will cut the pattern pieces out now of the like real fabric, and this is actually thrifted secondhand. I can't tell you what kind of fabric it is. I have no idea. I have no idea how fabrics are called. This didn't have any information. It's just from the thrift store Lopez. I have quite a lot of it, and let's get cutting. Yeah, I've made great progress today already because very luckily, miraculously, the mock-up fits and I can actually use it as my final corset underlayer. This is the bag of like leather scraps that I talked about. I have several pieces in this color and some pieces also in this color. I think I want to add some embroidery details to the like leather outer layer of the corset. I think that would look very nice. I will start today with some very small things. It's already getting dark outside and I don't want to continue with the sewing or anything. I will do that tomorrow. But yes, the embroidery, I think I'll try to finish today. It's pretty late now. I have embroidered the 2 front pieces and I have 3 more little flower leaf things that I want to do, but not this night. I'll go to bed, I'll sleep a bit, and yeah, tomorrow I'll continue. Simba is also very tired already, so good night, see you tomorrow. It's the next day today and I have brought out the corset making stuff that I need for the next steps. I have added boning channels for if you don't know. If I would put this corset on right here, it would do this. It would like have folds in it, and to avoid that, what you usually would do in a corset like this, you would add boning. This is putting in some parts of steel or synthetic whale boning, plastic. I have put in the busk and I've put it in on the front, so this corset will close on the front. I have broken 2 needles in the process of doing all this. Very bad looking actually, and from the inside very rough. I have already did some embroidering on the leather here. For today I want to insert the grommets where I can put the binding. I want to cut the steel, no, I want to cut the synthetic whale boning, and I do have to cut 2 steel things. I'm not entirely sure whether I want to do this or not. As I said, I'm alone right now here in Sweden, in this house in the middle of nowhere. And if I hurt myself doing this, that wouldn't be so good. And also Simba is alone. And if I actually would hurt myself and had to go, I don't know, to the hospital or something, what would I do with Simba? But for now, I will start with the less dangerous parts of cutting the synthetic whalebone and putting the grommets. to admit it's a bit scary here, being all alone. It's good that it's not dark, it's still light outside, so that's better. I have finished the 2 rows of grommets. This is the steel boning. It's like, yeah, full steel boning wrapped in thin white foil. I have decided to try to cut it. Good morning! It's already day 4 of my making this little corset thing, and yesterday I have spent doing one side of the corset. The other one is still like I showed you 2 days ago. I spent yesterday trying to put this leather on here. It wasn't easy. I had to seam rip a lot of things. After I had sewn some things, I had to like put it apart again. And I have also tried some stitching techniques to kind of conceal the fact that it's machine sewn. You can see it if you look very closely, but now that I know how to do this side, I will do the same on this side. So what I did yesterday, I have to do again today. It is very nice weather today, and hopefully I get to do some embroidering outside in the sun. But first, let's go up to my sewing room and put the leather on this corset. Let's go! I have learned that I have to use those like clips instead of regular sewing pins because this doesn't work with the pins. So I'm very happy that I actually have 8 of these clips in total, so it's enough for me to align those 2 edges and sew them together. I'm sitting here at an open window, which feels so great. It's so nice to have this finally some warmth. I have attached everything to this side. It's not really pretty. I'm gonna finish everything that I have to do with the machine sewing, and this includes the bias binding. Yeah, I will just attach one side of the binding. I'll fold it open, attach it to the back side here, and then once it's attached I will fold it over and hand stitch this side down as I did already on the other side. Then I'm done with the machine sewing for this project. Fingers crossed, hopefully. I guess I'll see you outside because the sun is just too nice to be inside. I'll see you outside when I'm doing the embroidery part. This leather is pretty thick. I have to get through it with this kind of big needle. Fingertips are already pretty, I don't know if you can see that. They're hurting a bit from yesterday. And what I'm continuously trying to do is to sharpen my needle with this kind of knife sharpener. No idea if this works. Maybe I'm just doing it for good luck. Just whenever I feel like the needle isn't getting through the leather well, I'm just doing this and hoping for the best, hoping that it actually makes a difference. I have stitched this leather part to the corset with 2 parallel straight stitch lines here. And to conceal that a little bit, I'm just doing this pattern that I don't know, made up. I doubt that it has a name, but I'm just doing like triangles. Just always 2 stitches from the one row to the end of the leather, and then alternating with a smaller triangle with 2 stitches from in between those 2 lines. And on the other side it looks like this, and I feel like it does conceal the 2 stitches kind of well. I do like it, so that's what I'm doing. If you don't know me, very late in the video, hi, I am Eva. I live in Sweden, and I moved here 3 years ago, 2.5 years ago. Sorry, I really didn't think of that. I usually do more vlog type videos talking about my life here in Sweden, and this time I just thought I could like document my sewing making process a bit more thoroughly. But if that's how you found this video, then hi, as I said, I'm Eva. I'm from Germany, but I live in Sweden now for a couple of years with my dog Simba in this little red cottage in the woods. You've seen this already. Yeah, it's been a long winter, but not a very nice one. We didn't have that much snow. We didn't have a lot of opportunities to go skiing or something like that. I didn't go ice skating once this year, which is pretty sad. I feel like right now I'm just blabbering a bit, so I should get back to my audiobook and just sew quietly here. So I'll see you with the results. I'm done with my nurse. No, it's actually not that bad. It was kind of a lengthy project, but it was okay. I think 4 days in total is alright for such a like heavily embroidered and kind of statement piece. This has really been my hyper focus for the last couple of days. I am quite happy with the result, so I thought I could just share with you what went well, what didn't. Let's stay optimistic, guys, and start with the positive. I really, really like the shape of this. The pattern that I used, it's great. It's really, really nice. I think actually now that I have the pattern how I like it, with the mock-up and everything, I could actually do this in one day. Not with the leather embroidery, no, but the more regular corset could have taken me one day, which is great, and I think I will do this again. The instructions of the corset said if you are in between sizes, you can and should take the smaller size, and I could have just done that actually. I could have, just as they said, taken the smaller size and it would have fit perfectly. So that was the positive, I think. I'm quite happy with the overall look of this leather embroidered corset, but now I think I'm kind of getting into the things that I didn't like so much about this project, and I think the leather look didn't turn out as I thought it would. As you maybe can see, those leaves turn down, those leaves turn up. It should have both been the same way, so I made some mistakes on the way. My biggest pet peeve is the crinkles and wrinkles. Maybe I should take it off so you can see better. Here are some wrinkles. I know that it's user mistake, user error. I should have done things differently, but yeah, I'm a bit sad that it didn't turn out just as I thought it would. And the last thing, I don't know how to combine this corset. I feel like this outfit, I mean, I put this shawl on top because I wasn't happy. I don't know, I will have to learn how to use this. I mean, as I said, I like the look, but I thought I could combine it with whatever is in my closet and just use it like my other corsets, but I will have to learn how to combine this. But I mean, it's very good to make mistakes so you can learn, right? Making mistakes is the best teacher, I guess. I really hope that you kind of like this video as well. It's my first kind of documenting a whole sewing process in detail, so let me know what you think about that. And yeah, I hope to see you in my next video. I see you very soon. Bye bye, have a nice day. Bye bye. Oops. Just to give you a closer look on. You would normally sew. It's already getting dark tonight. Oops. As I said, I have to switch between. Hey Google, stop.